What you're saying is that in some cases, the information was simply wrong. I want to get back to your case, Mr. Begg. When you were detained in 2002, the Pentagon said you were an al-Qaeda recruiter. Charges were never brought. You were released at the request of the British government from Guantanamo. But do you feel like you were ever completely cleared?
It's difficult to know what cleared means, because you're in this limbo state, this other surreal world where you're not charged, where you're not prosecuted, where there's no legal system, where it's a complete, it's completely away from any norms of legal practice, so that you couldn't have a Guantanamo-style situation anywhere else on the world except Guantanamo. So the US Civil Code doesn't apply there, the US Military Code of Justice doesn't apply there, and even according to the Guantanamo Military Commission's process, which has a very low standard of evidence, I wasn't never charged and I was never designated for trial by military commission, and that's the majority of the people that have been held there. So you don't understand what that means, you don't understand what innocence or guilt means there, because they don't apply.
To that point, you were arrested recently for participating in a Syrian training camp. You were arrested under UK law. Not only were you exonerated from those charges, but your travels to Syria had been approved by MI5 and fit with the UK's foreign policy efforts in Syria at the time. So I guess my question is, do you still feel stigmatized all these years after your Gitmo release?
I think there's a complete confusion in terms of Britain, the United States of America, as to what's happening in the Muslim world in Syria and Iraq, and their own responsibilities for creating that situation, that vacuum that caused the rise of ISIS and other groups. And thus, they have been quick to jump on to those who've been trying to assist. On the one hand, when I went to Syria, it's true that I went there to investigate MI5's involvement in complicity in torture, in sending people to the Bashar al-Assad regime or to the regime of Libya where I had gone previously. So it's really important to recognize that what's going on there, the quagmire that's been created, Britain and America have a big hand in it. And what I was trying to do was to uncover some of those links, those insidious links between these various governments that Britain and America have worked with. They have been involved in the renditions program all around the world, from Thailand, where Abu Zubaydah was waterboarded over 88 times, right across to Morocco, where Binyam Mohammed was tortured with a razor blade taken to his extremities, all in the name of so-called national security and protecting civilians.